party that ball. Shake that body, party that ball. Shake that body, party that body. Come and have a good time with Geology.
I believe there's a God above me. I'm just the God of everything else. I'll put holes in everything else. New God flow, fuck everything else. Supreme dope dealer. Write it in bold letters. They love a nigga spirit like Pocket the Coachella. They said push ain't fit with the umbrella, but I was good with the Ye as a wholesaler. I think it's good the Ye got a blow dealer. A hot temper, match with the cold killer. I came aboard for more than just to rhyme with them. Think 99 when Puff with a hand shine with them. Yeah. Matching Daytonas, rose gold on us. Going ham in the beats that done took a toll on us. Ooh, since you overdo it, I'ma pour more. Well, if you going coupe, I'm going four-door.
Shake that body, party that ball.
That's rare,
Shake that
nigga.
body, party that ball.
Ric Flair,
Shake that
nigga.
body, party that ball.
Yeah,
Come and
nigga.
have a good time with Geology.
Yeah.
Shake that body, party that ball.
Wow.
Shake that body, party that ball.
Wow.
Shake that body, party that
It's a new
ball.
God flow.
Come and have a good time with Geology.
Yeah. Step on they necks till they can't breathe. Claim they 5 stars but sell you dreams. They say death multiplies by 3. Line them all up and let's just see. Fuck 'em, yay. Fuck 'em, yay. I wouldn't piss on that nigga with Grandma, yay. Woo! They shit is shopping at Target. Woo! My shit is luxury ball made. I'm ballin', I'm already a Nick soul in the park, then I won't end. What's a king without a crown, nigga? What? What's a circus without you clown niggas? What's a brick from an out of town, nigga? When you flood and you can drown, nigga. Yeah. It's the good music golden child. It made $sign, can't nobody hold me down.
Shake that body, party that ball. Shake that body, party that ball. Shake that body, party that body. Come and have a good time with G.O.D.
Hold up, I ain't trying to stunt, man, but the Yeezys jumped over the jump, man. Went from most hated to the champion God flow. I guess that's a feeling only me and LeBron know. I'm living 3 dreams. Biggie Smalls, Dr. King, Rodney Kings. Cause we can't get along. No resolution till we drown all these haters. Rest in peace to Whitney Houston. Cars, money, girls and the clothes. Oh man, you sold your soul. Nah man, mad people was frontin'. Oh man, made something for nothing. Picture working so hard and you can't cut through. That can mess up your whole life like an uncle that touched you. What has the world come to? I'm from the 312, where cops don't come through and dreams don't come true. Like there the guy go when it's mercy and lie. Go from working McDonald's, barely paying a car note. He even got enough to get his mama a condo. Then they ran up and shot him right in front of his mom. 40 killings in a week and 40 killings in a week. Man, the summer too high, you can feel it in the street. Welcome to Sunday service. If you hope to Sunday service, we got green in the eyes. Just follow my egg sermon. Did Moses not part the water with the cane? Did strippers not make an art when I made it rain? Did Yeezy not get signed by Hov and Damon? Ran to Jacob and made the new Jesus chain? In Jesus' name, let the cry say, I'm on fire, ayy, that's a Richard Pryor say. And we'll annihilate anybody that violate. Ask any dope boy you know, they admire, yeah.
Shake that body, party that ball. Shake that body, party that ball. Shake that body, party that body. Come and have a good time with G.O.D.
Good music, good music, good music, good music. And all my niggas say, good music. And all my ladies say, good music. I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. If you get fresh, get all the hoes. If you get fresh, get all the hoes. I'm way fresher than all my foes. I'm way fresher than all my foes. Somebody please pick out they clothes. Somebody please pick out they clothes. And all my niggas say, good music. And all my ladies say, good music. Who run this shit today? Good music. Who run this shit today? Good music.
You looking at the realest in the flesh. Name a nigga fucking with me. Who you know hit rock bottom, then bounce back like you wouldn't believe. and now I won't allow him to breathe. The boy got a chip on his sleeve. They told me I would never achieve, and now them niggas the leech like they a part of the team. One thing about it though, I've been ready. Know the money getting old, call it granddaddy. Ace on the beat, call it paramedics. Only rap nigga in the game looking athletic. Boy, I couldn't be defeated with a shoe fetish. Spend cash at the dealer, never do credit. First with the Rare Rover, let the streets tell it. Only ride with the G's if you shoot steady. Got a lot going on in this cold world. Got me praying every night for my little girl. And my little boy growing up too fast. Daddy hustle so I can get y'all the whole world. Couple whips in the crib for my old girl. Laughing at you hating niggas like you Will Ferrell. Bad bitches in the pen make my toes curl. Long ways from the days of the broke era. Tell the team that I got, expect the house on it. Just remember what I said when it's that moment. I ain't even impressed with your stats, homie. Mention my name on the list with the grace on the ball. Rims on the Jeep sit tall. Still I spend a house in the mall. I done seen it all. Police out shooting everybody. Every other day another body. Pull up on the scene. Another black man gunned down. God rest his soul of Mike Brown. Another black man gunned down. God rest his soul of Mike Brown. I done seen it all. Nigga, I done seen it all. Gotta understand your laws. Better know your rights and your laws. Nigga, I done seen it all.
Body bag. Body bag. Body bag.
That's gonna be the fighter starter right there. Grind, I'm grinding. They used to tell me I never would be. Swear. They used to tell me I never would be shit. I never bought what they selling on that ship. I'm motivated from struggle, I gave my life to the hustle, and ain't no time to go cuddle with no bitch. A couple jobs in the day, shit, just trying to get it. Remember mama was crying, I can't forget it. Just know my daddy a coward, I still remember them seconds, I still remember the minutes down to the hours. And she was never around, I had to hold that shit down. The only thing to do now was go and get it. I put the word in the town, they know I carry the crown. I got them haters around, a nigga quick. Fucking know I'm on a mission, my system filled to with ambition. I'm like a gun that can hold 1,000 ammunition. My intuition to turn the track into demolition. I'm still the illest, it's God's willing. I'm Godzilla, say I'm grinding. I'm grinding, I'm grinding. Fuck all this jewelry and that new designer. They show me the dollars. Osama bin Laden. I am in search for the millions and millions of dollars. Like Osama bin Laden. Tell them don't call me if it ain't a talk about the commas. Put that on my mama. Please tell them haters I did what I said. Been through the battle, but I never fled. Message from haters, go jump off a ledge. Ain't no alliance, the real what I pledge. Nothing was given, I grind for my living. They can keep sleeping, I sleep with your bitches. Bitch, I'm from Broward and I won't allow it. And I made decisions, you out your division. Tell them I'm grinding for all of my shit. I'ma hustle for all of my shit. I put my life on the line, I'm dedicated to grinding. In my eyes, I'm dying for this shit. Yeah, I'm grinding for all of this shit. Yeah, I'm grinding for all of this shit. I put time into all of this. I put time into all of this shit. So tell my niggas I got them and they believe it. I see the future, I'm calling it how I see it. I brought them foreign rental vehicles through the hood. I get a hope to my city, I am the meaning. Cause I've been hustling, baby, know you missing me lately. I've been running them crazy with the dick. Just know what's fuck you pay me, smoking kush on the daily. All you niggas fugazi on my list. Know I'm doing every single thing for my mama. Stashing their check for my son and my daughter. Living on the edge, I'm just trying to get ahead. I'm just trying to get some head while I listen to the Carter. Know I've been a hustling dog since I was 6. A real one with a story, now let it mix. Now take a little bit of pot and put it all in the pot when you removing the
GTP Beats.
There's 3,000. That man. America, 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 with you a long way. America, 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 with you a long way. America to Mary, 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 America to Mary. Treating me like you cheating on me. I got an SSC and they leeching on me. They leeching on me. They fucking me. They done went under the bleachers on me. All you wanna do is tax me. You ain't even really asked me. Ain't no full disclosure. Made me feel like it's over. We ain't break up, no closure. We ain't get no domestic. Is you foreign or domestic? Respect it or you can check it. I care about this country. I care about this country, but this country ain't got no love for me. It's treating me all monkey. On the boat is how they got here, and just look around, it's a lot here. They really put down the plot here, but they birthright, it's not here. I'm from the soil, copper colored. I ain't black, no crude oil. Thinking about this two-door. America, 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 with you a long way. America, 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 with you a long way. America to Mary, 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 America to Mary. How you claim you a Democrat if it's two republic for which it stands? I ain't voting for nan one. Both of them can't get these hands. One nation under God. What God they talking about? What nation they talking about? Overseas is all they talking about. Aborigines need the funds here. Our youth trying to have fun here. Inflation stay on the rise here. Everyone in disguise here. New laws a surprise here. Everyone get to hide here. That's right, everyone get to hide here. Remember, it was just you and us before colonizing. We was doing us, no third parties. The two of us never seen them, but they knew of us. Destroyed our ruins, then ruined us. We was Indians, made us switch us up, made us switch us up, made us switch us up, made us switch it up. We ain't giving up. America, 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 with you a long way. America, 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 with you a long way. America to Mary, 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 America to Mary. I still believe in love. Give me all that you can give me. It ain't on me, it's in me. I done seen so much remedy. We the real American Indians, the real indigenous of the land, man. The real aboriginals, man. You know what it is. Need you. Fellas up.
I'm sure you must be confused. You all must be wondering where Lieutenant has gone. Why did he leave for so long? Well, there are many things that cannot be spoken, but what you need to know is this. A man, no matter the following or how righteous the cause, is still a man. And a man can be arrested. He can be stopped. So for this movement to continue, we are now under new management. The lieutenant has had to become something more than a man. Something that exists in all of you. Something that cannot be caged. And so he has become simply an idea. An idea that flows in the wind. A fleeting and elusive concept that he hopes you will all share. An idea of a righteous stand against discrimination and suffering. An idea of unity for those who have been left in the dirt, the bullied, the abused and the broken. An idea of change on a global scale, inspired by influence. So, he knows it has been some time, and he knows you may have lost faith. He knows what they have said about him while he has been gone. But he wants me to welcome you back to the LT Army once more. Brothers and sisters, Prepare yourselves to meet a new face of a familiar friend. And of course, welcome back to the LT Army. Stand for all. Fear none. I give to you your leader, Lieutenant Ligme.
Dog, I make my own cash, we don't do taxes in a check. Put them taxes in the hood, we don't fuck with the IRS. You don't press your own con, but you show the cop respect. Same one locked up your homie, but you scared to get him back. Man, go get him back in blood. All them bodies that you got, the KKK and catch a slug. Fuck a free my homie Asada shit, go get him back in blood. Yeah, you know who locked your homie up, go get him back in blood. Dog, I make my own cash, we don't do taxes in a check. Put them taxes in the hood, we don't fuck with the IRS. You don't press your own con, but you show the cop respect. Same one locked up your homie, but you scared to get him back. Man, go get him back in blood. All them bodies that you got, the KKK and catch a slug. Fuck a free my homie Asada shit, go get him back in blood. Yeah, you know who locked your homie up, go get him back in blood. If George Zimmerman ain't dead, I don't wanna hear about how you tough. Claim you a shooter when the cops come, you run and toss your gun. Why we aiming at each other when we got a bigger war? Niggas musta forgot what this gang banging really for. Man, you niggas really lost. If you don't own your own land, stop walking around like you a boss. Rappers giving bread to charity, go do some shit for real. All that gangster shit you talking, get raped when you take a deal. Man, you niggas ain't on shit. You my brother cause we black, I don't care if you blood or crip. If you don't own your own hood, stop talking gangster. You ain't nip. The rap execs invest in prisons, then use us to fill them shits. Dog, I make my own cash, we don't do taxes in a check. Put them taxes in the hood, we don't fuck with the IRS. You don't press your own con, but you show the cop respect. Same one locked up your homie, but you scared to get him back. Man, go get him back in blood. All them bodies that you got, the KKK and catch a slug. Fuck a free my homie Asada shit, go get him back in blood. Yeah, you know who locked your homie up, go get him back in blood. Niggas know who locked their homie up, man. Know what I'm saying? This time we, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying put the guns down, I'm saying we need to change targets, my nigga. You feel me? We aiming at the wrong people. All my aboriginals tribe up, man. Y'all already know how we give it up. And if you don't know what an aboriginal is, tap in. Word.
Close on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A. Close on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A. Hold the selfies. Put the gram away. Get your family. Y'all hold hands and pray. When you got daughters, always keep them safe. Watch out for vipers. Don't let them indoctrinate. Closed on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A. You're my number one. With the lemonade. Close on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A. Close on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A. Hold the selfies. Put the gram away. Get your family. Y'all hold hands and pray. When you got daughters, always keep them safe. Watch out for vipers. Don't let them indoctrinate. Closed on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A. You're my number one. With the lemonade. Raise our sons. Train them in the faith. Through temptations. Make sure they're wide awake. Follow Jesus. Listen and obey. No more living for the culture. We nobody's slave. Stand up for my home. Even if I take this walk alone, I bow down to the King upon the throne. My life is his, I'm no longer my own. I pray to God that he'll strengthen my hand. They will think twice stepping onto my land. I draw the line, it's written in the sand. Try me and you will see that I ain't playing. Now, back up off my family, move your hands. I got my weapons in the spirit's land. Jezebel don't even stand a chance. Jezebel don't even stand a chance.
Shout out to all the American Aborigines, GPs in the building, Aboriginal TV is in the building, the God of the building. What's up, gang? We got 56 people in the building. I'd appreciate if y'all could bang that like button for me. Share the video out for me one time. Let's see who we got up into this grand rising. Let me get some ghosts in the chat, some TVs in the chat. Let me know we got good audio and visuals. Shout out to Empress Goddess Namaste in the building. Kato Morris in the building. Soulfully Sowing Seeds in the building. Roger W's in the building. Earth 2 is in the building. Adam Real is in the building. See my brother Roger W. Givens playing in the motherfucking building. Bronze Flat Power God. What's up, tribe? Don P in the building. The realest N word alive. C Roberts in the building. Don P. What's up, gang? M Low Creekside. We got up in here. Rob Smith in the building. I'm Original in the building. Anthony Lowe. Chuck Jackson in the building. What's up, gang? Let's see what else we got up in here. So everybody, all you niggas in the bush. What's up, nigga? Bush niggas. Carbon Crowns in the building. I see Unk in the building. What's up, DBPA? What's up, Unk? Pat Gabriel in the building. Rahmed in the building. What's up, gang? This episode is brought to you by the Digital Black Dollar. All of our affiliates, subsidiaries. We are live on communitystore.shop. Make sure y'all go on over there and check us out over there. Make sure everything is loud and clear over there as well. America, the stolen Negro nation. What else are they hiding? So as we take ourselves into today's show, shout out ADOS in the building. Ray Simone in the building. As we intro to the show and get to the information, let me just give a shout out to all the subscribers to the website, as well as all the supporters of this platform, everybody that makes this engine run. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all the true MVPs. We are, time is 7:02. We at the top of the hour. Y'all ready to get into some shit today, man? I got some shit for y'all, of course. As always. Let me just make sure everything is loud and clear on my end. Let's see. All right, gang. We're going to go ahead and start getting into this first iteration. Let's see, America, the stolen Negro nation. Let's see what else we got today. Hey. Y'all ready?
And today we're going to discuss some great mysteries around San Francisco, including the gold rush and the creation of the town in itself, how it goes from 1,000 people to, well, you'll see. And also we'll discuss plagues and earthquakes and fires that devastated the town one after another, and also examine some photos from 1877 that show amazing build out of the city, which would mean that it was only 20 years into the inception of the city. So here we go. In 1849, there's a large boom in the population of San Francisco. And the town increases from 1,000 people to 25,000 people. So here is the San Francisco Harbor in 1850, or 1851, they tell us. But they continue to tell us, okay, that this just sprouts into existence. Suddenly, we have 1,000 people in San Francisco in 1848. And in 1850, boom. We have literally a boom, the gold boom or the gold rush. And, before we get too far into this gold rush, let's jump over here to just the very history of San Francisco. So, San Francisco, starting overnight as the base for the gold rush of 1849. So really, this is about the shortest introduction to a town that I've seen. Usually we have long, elaborate stories. But this is it. This is the beginning. This is Wiki. And I'm using Wiki because, they're the complete other side. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to what is the accepted mainstream narrative. And here it is on Wiki. San Francisco, starting overnight as the base for the gold rush of 1849. The city quickly became the largest and most important population, commercial, naval, and financial center of the American West. It was devastated by the Great Earthquake of 1906, but was quickly rebuilt. So 1849, starting overnight, and then let's jump back over here. And here we see that, yes, here it is, 1850. 1850 or 1851, literally starting overnight. And so this city just booms. Suddenly we have this immediate boom. The Federal Reserve Branch opened in 1914. So now we've just jumped from 1850 to the earthquake of 1906. City's just rebuilt, just like that. And now we're talking about 1914 and business, and now to 1960. I mean, just wow. So let's take a little jump now to the World's Fair once again of 1915. Just as we saw recently in the Chicago World's Fair, we have a similar situation here in San Francisco. And a very, very, very similar story. And I'm not going to go into it, but it is absolutely similar that all of these were built to be temporary and they were torn down. And yet there are some that remain, and we have some glorious pictures of them, as this one shows right here. And this one is the Palace of Fine Arts once again. The same designations given to these other buildings at the World's Fair in Chicago. In some cases, as we can see here, this one was actually preserved. And how fortunate, how blessed we are, because this is the kind of picture that we see. And yet, oftentimes we don't actually get to see the real thing. And in this case, you can actually see it still to this day. Absolutely amazing. This throws the whole narrative of them building these structures as temporary structures right out of the water. I mean, this is absolutely the real deal. Look at the size of the people compared to these columns. I mean, absolutely amazing. And this is, exactly what we would find as ruins anywhere in the world. And here they are in San Francisco. And this one is called the Palace of Fine Arts Rotunda. And so, 1915, oftentimes, we don't get to see the modern version because it's been torn down. So here we have the Netherlands Pavilion, 1915. What they've done is they've left this structure on the left, but they've torn down this glory, the most glorious part. And I'll show you some black and white photos here coming up. Absolutely amazing resolution showing the whole skyline of San Francisco in the early 1900s. And you can see not only this building, but just tons of buildings like this. You can tell that the whole city.
Shout out to my DBPA for sending in a donation. That is our first donation of the day. 8 for 8 is in full effect for every 8 donations of $8 or more. We will give away a hoodie on Friday. We need 2 more donations to lock in that second giveaway tribe. Let's go.
City was built out in an amazing fashion. So yeah, let's have a look now at what they've replaced this with. Here it is. Here it is. This is what we get today. So this junky building, and for what? And for what? In this case, they haven't even put anything in its place. They just leveled it. So the Palace of Horticulture. I mean, look at this one with the little pieces on top. The detail is astounding. Little pieces on top. The detail is astounding. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, so here it is. Here's what they replaced it with. This is it. This was, and they've done a pretty good job of actually positioning themselves.
Mic check, mic check. It's like they fucking with my mic. Okay, can y'all hear me now? So what I was saying was like this building over here, tribe. Like this building got Egyptian relic. This shit look big as fuck too, gang. Like look how big these motherfuckers is. So let me put it on the full screen. Look how big these motherfuckers right here on this side is in comparison to the people. Like this shit at least like I say at least three, four of these motherfucking people that's on here, right? So that's like at least 15 feet, maybe 15 foot, and these shits probably go all around the building. That's just this little. Then we get over here, gang, and I mean, it's so much shit going on in this building. Like you got to break this shit down in sections. Like this, it got a face right here. This look like they done motherfucking locked the nigga. Like this building has been built with the bones of some niggas. Like this building was built with the bones of dinosaurs, nigga. Like if y'all want to find all the dinosaur bones, nigga, they probably in this building right here. This shit right here is different. Anywho, let's continue. You got 63 people in the building.
So here it is. Here's what they replaced it with. This is it. This was, and they've done a pretty good job of actually positioning themselves, exactly where these things were. So here's, it was, this was more important than this. Of course, this had to be torn down. And again, if this was a temporary structure, I'm sorry, but there is no temporary glass. And again, a palace of transportation. Look at this beauty replaced by this. Here we go. These homes of transportation. Look at this beauty replaced by this. Here we go. These homes. We're told that San Francisco was built in 1850. In 1850, you have 1,000 people. In 1848, 1,000 people. And buildings like this suddenly arrive. And again, I'm going to show you pictures of the entire skyline filled with buildings like this. Filled. An entire city. And they're going to tell us that 25,000 people were there, and that these buildings were built and torn down and replaced by things like this and things like this. Yeah, same street. And in fact, where there was the sidewalk there, they've still utilized this survey, basically, this perfect survey, which I'll also show you a picture of the grid, from like a map of San Francisco, where the city is perfectly laid out. I mean, perfectly laid out. When they say that, they actually complain and say that the architects, squabbled and, could not come to an agreement on how the city should be laid out. When we look at the layout, it seems like, there was not a disagreement. It's a perfect grid. Perfect. So the amusement zone. So, I think that's what they did. They just took these glorious structures and, have these fairs and, this idea of, even what we call a fair is really just a ruse, just something to turn the eye. So here's what we had again, just basically a part of the city. This was probably a commercial area in this ancient city. And now we have a park. The park was more important than the original buildings of the city, apparently. No, it all had to go. The park was more important than the original buildings of the city, apparently. No, it all had to go. It was a control area in this ancient city, and now we have a park. The park was more important than the original buildings of the city, apparently. No, it all had to go. It all had to go for this park. And the Machinery Palace, again, like we saw in Chicago, the same designations. Look at this amazing marvel. These columns and statues and the Antiquitech. Amazing. And here's what they have replaced it with. This was, again, very important. This is, a city that's starting out, that could use beautiful infrastructure. Who knows? Let's just assume they built it. However, no, now it's not worth it to them. And we need to go backwards and build smaller. Now, these are temporary buildings. That's the irony, is when they show us pictures like this and say that these were temporary and built for the World's Fair. How ironic when what we build now, is temporary, not this old glory of the past. And again, and the trees also were, fully grown and brought in temporarily as well for the event. It gets better. It absolutely gets better. The nations of the East, court of sun and stars. This beautiful, beautiful arc of triumph with this amazing Antiquitech around it, which I've never seen. By the time we've seen any of these arches, all such things have been removed. But this is one of the most glorious things ever. And here you go. Here's what they replaced it with. I think this is probably an original little sliver left of the facade here. But this is one of the most glorious things ever. And here you go. Here's what they replaced it with. I think this is probably an original little sliver left of the facade here, because this does look like the old style. And I think this has been preserved. Just this little facade here seems like the style we're seeing of this old world and of this old people. But far from this, far from this. We're probably just seeing a little piece, just a little piece that they left. And here is the service building. And you see how they've painted some signage up here. In any case, a glorious building, and replaced by this. Still with hints of the leftover world. And of course, there would have been skilled architects left over from the old world that would spill over into this period. But no comparison here, no comparison, just the faintest husk of the old building style, but definitely temporary. Now here is the Liberal Arts Palace and Tower, and this is one of the most glorious ones. And this actually reminds me of some towers that I was looking at recently in Morocco. Beautiful Moroccan style. And now, if you go and look at, some of these images in Morocco, you'll see this, but I think that the tops have been removed, as always. And so all we get is the towers left. But really, really similar style, real intricate, and same people, I believe. And yes, here we go, replaced by this junk, this to this. No good reason could be given, and no good reason has been given for doing such things. Notice the Antiquitech antennas even at the gates here, all with the little starry things. And later, basically we would turn every piece of Antiquitech into a flagpole, if we didn't just remove it completely. And to this day, look at where your flagpoles are, especially on your older buildings. So the State of Washington Pavilion, look at this beauty. And they replaced this with nothing. But yeah, this was really important to get rid of, to make room for nothing. This glorious, glorious structure. And what I'll show you here soon is that the World's Fair in San Francisco, which was basically held where, this must have been the capital of the ancient city, just like in Chicago. It must have been the capital of the ancient people. And this is the reason for destroying these capitals, having these World's Fairs and then leveling these capital districts, and then the rest of the town would be done in by the earthquakes and the fires, and little pieces would remain here and there. But these capitals were laid out amazingly and were something else. So now let us jump over here to this amazing little group of pictures. These are all what I've been showing you, but these are actually the real photos as opposed to the lithograph types. And this is actually from, apparently from a 1915 family photo memories. So, this may be somebody's private collection because it was very difficult to find any real photos of this. Somebody really went to great lengths to, bury a lot of these old photos. Here we go. Again, like I was showing you earlier, but now this, what we are being told, was built for temporary usage at the World's Fair in 1915. And again, San Francisco in 1848 had 1,000 people. And now look at the weathering. Look at the aging of this and the intricacy. So we're to believe that, in 50 years, they create this amazing, and once again, not just buildings, but a city. The splendor of these buildings And really,
Ain't no motherfucking way, boy. Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no motherfucking way, Tribe.
this amazing, and once again, not just buildings, but a city. The splendor of these buildings, and really no difference to what we saw in Chicago, what we see in Paris, and in Greece, and in Portugal, and in Russia, and in South America. In every part of the world we see these. But I don't know if anybody has such a ridiculous story as we do in America for ours. Look at this. And a double arch. An arch and then another arch. I mean, look at the size of the people and the doorways. I mean, we cannot recreate these arches now. And we don't. And we didn't. And here, look at the size of the people and the doorways. I mean, we cannot recreate these arches now. And we don't. And we didn't. And here we just have ruins in the brush, in the overgrown brush, showing, you know, the age of this era and these people. Just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing in every way. Just a city full of antiquitech and marvel. Just absolute marvel. And when you look at what we replaced all of this with, it's just a shattering proof to our false historical narrative. Look at this column. I mean, this is what we see in St. Petersburg. The size of it. And again, they tore this down. And you know, nowadays when we make concrete columns, we see these proof to our false historical narrative. Look at this column. I mean, this is what we see in St. Petersburg. The size of it. And again, they tore this down. And you know, nowadays when we make concrete columns, we see these same types of, you know, spiraling lines because you use like a cast. But we fill it with junky concrete. And this type of geopolymer is, you know, some kind of a marble granite. Absolutely amazing. And again, you know, to tear things like this down, really just to hide our past and all these inheritors of this civilization. You know, this is the gold rush. This is the true gold rush. Imagine the amounts of gold and luxuries just laying around for the plucking, you know, just inheriting a city. I mean, so much luxury that you can afford to just tear most of it down, you know, and you take what you want and you rewrite history, and then you bring in some plagues and some earthquakes and some fires after you've, you know, plundered, and you reset things again. You know, that was already one reset. People walking in. I mean, the old people are already gone. They're already gone. And now the people move in 1850, in 1900, 50 years of reaping the ancient culture. And what do? Then we get reset again. Reset again by a fire and an earthquake. And we're told that the town is wiped out and rebuilt within, you know, 10 or 15 magical years. And then again, we begin. And now, because, you know, these new people after the fire and the earthquake and these similar, you know, things happen all over, and we have the mud floods, and now people don't remember. Now all of a sudden they don't even remember. And now by the time 1915 comes along, you have a depression and a World War I, and people's minds are in the mud, literally, with all this chaos. And now history is conveniently rewritten. And yet, it's all here. It's all here for us to see. And thank God that these photos are actually preserved. And we can see what our past looked like. This is a statue of the old world. This is a symbol of the old world. Now I want to take you to this amazing picture. And this is a very, very early photo. A beautiful panoramic view of the city before it was destroyed. So this is a photo from 1877. The photograph was taken from the tower of the Mark Hopkins Mansion, then the highest point in San Francisco, at 381 feet above the harbor. So here we go, 1877. So let's review our narrative just to have it fresh in our minds. In 1848, there's 1,000 people. 1,000 people. And by 1850, you have 25,000 people. 25,000. Now ask yourself, in this short amount of time, if it's even conceivable that the city should be built out in this fashion in 15 years, 10 or 15 years, or is this city much older than 1850? I mean, a baby. They're telling us that it's a baby in 1850, and here we are in the 1870s, 20 years later. In 20 years, can you conceive of building something like this in 20 years? I mean, look at this onion dome, for example, on top of this cathedral. And the layout and the engineering, just remarkable. No, this was not just some city that was thrown together.
Them boy gonna say, hey, look, Gabe. Them boy gonna say, ancient aliens built this shit, nigga. They gonna say, the great white giants that came from Nebula, nigga. They gonna say they built this shit. They would never admit, like, this a nigga nation right here, man. This right here, oh yeah. This is thousands of years of peace. See, you can't, gang, you cannot build no shit like this and motherfucking be fighting wars at the same time, nigga. That's what they don't understand. You can't be fighting wars and building megalithic structures that stand the test of time. City planning, like you planning cities and planning attacks. Like, come on, nigga. Really? That's what they say.
For a gold rush, this is something else. The perfection and the resolution of this photography. I mean, look at these buildings. Just amazing for this time period. I mean, this isn't a young, booming gold mining town. I mean, we've all seen gold mining towns. This is an established town. And let us continue. Look at this thing. Look at these two. Some of the mansions. And a little peek at some of the Antiquitech being used at the time. Neptune's trident. Antiquitech everywhere. 1870s. 1870s. I mean, we're not supposed to really have power until, 15 years after this photograph. Yet, it appears that there is poles and clearly power lines down here, and clearly an infrastructure. But we're told that the infrastructure collapses because the town grew too fast and they had to rebuild the whole infrastructure. Well, no, I think that the old one failed. Just remarkable. I mean, again, just, looking at this, and you all know better, I know. This is not a city of, 25, 50,000. This is a city of 1 million people. Is
this remnants of the Caliphian Empire tribe? Or what they calling Caliphian? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Is this the remnants? All these relics they find in this shit, are these the remnants of a ancient empire or an ancient people? Ask yourself. No, they just now shipping all the Europeans in this motherfucker. And this whole shit is built out, tribe. It ain't make sense.
As we see it in 1870. And again, it just doesn't fit the narrative. And again, here is the, one of the palaces. I don't know if this was the Palace of Fine Arts.
I mean, come on, Tribe. Like, what in the fuck? They always saying we was kings. Bitch, do you see this? This one, this just one, you know what I'm saying, motherfucking palace. Look at this shit, Tribe. Could you imagine if niggas, like the ones that they say that the slaves that came off the boats, knew in any inclination that they was living like this on these lands, nigga? Like, if you had any inclination that you was a part of some shit like this, you probably won't be a part of that shit again, would you? Like, you ain't gonna just let that shit go. Like, hold on, nigga. I used to train the horses in the palace, nigga. Like, nah, I don't. You start fighting for your position in the palace, nigga. Try. Once again, the ornamentation, right? The craftsmanship. Like, it's so many fucking domes on this palace, Tribe. It's this look like what the White House wish it would look like, nigga. Like, if you could choose this or the White House to be the place where the most powerful nigga in the country stays, what you gonna? I'm gonna pick this. Man, fuck around with you, nigga. Check it.
Or whatever designation they gave it, but regardless, this is the old city. This is the old capital. Regardless, this is the old city. This is the old capital. But Palace of Fine Arts, or whatever designation they gave it, but regardless, this is the.
I just want to see this side too. Check this side out, Tribe. Like, look at this shit, Tribe. Like, this shit is massive. Like, on a whole nother level, Tribe. Like, this shit is big as fuck. Like, you need a Segway to drive through that bitch. It probably. And then what you not seeing is all under this is tunnels and shit to get throughout the complexes. Like, look at the dome on this motherfucker. This shit don't even look. This shit look like some futuristic shit, nigga. This don't even look like no ancient shit. This shit look like some shit they're gonna build in like 2 to 5 years and be like state of the art, $1 billion facilities. Like, wait a minute, gang. Like, just massive. What kind of nation was this, really? Like, is there a reason why, everybody's hell bent on, tricking you niggas out your position? Let's go.
This is the old capital. And this is also what they would call the World's Fair of 1915, the Pan American Expo. This is what we're told they built. Amazing. Just amazing. And again, a little gold rush town. No, and this is much older. This is
these niggas is saying they built this for the World Fair, Tribe. There's no way. There's no way, gang. We're not going anymore. We're not going. We ain't going. We ain't going. I can't go with them, Tribe. They going over the falls. I don't want to go over the falls, but I'm not going, nigga. Like, y'all can go. I'm not mad at you, but ain't no fucking way, boy. Ain't no fucking way.
This is much older and much more weathered, and nobody Nobody on the coast, even though we're told that it was bustling and ships had to wait in the port because it was so busy. And yet, what do we see? 2 ships here. Typical of what we see, empty streets, empty seas, fresh from a reset. And now here I just wanted to show you a layout of the city. So, this would be made for the 1915 Panama Pacific Expo. And, this was basically your tour guide, like you would get at Disneyland. You would get a little map of where all your amusements were. And in this case, they, wanted to make sure that people would know, where all the amusement was. So all the amusement was in this little corner right here, which you can see here, and I'll zoom into it here in a minute. But this is where they would supposedly build the World's Fair for 1915, and they would lay out this glory. And again, the city's built in 1850, they tell us, in 1850, 1,000 people, and now in 1915, in 50 years. I mean, this story in San Francisco is as bad as Salt Lake City's. In 50 years, you went from Mormons with wagons to a complete and bustling city with old Greco-Roman architecture that has signs of mud flooding and aging like anything that we see anywhere in the world. And yet look here, we have canals carved in for miles. I mean, I don't know how many miles this could be. And these roads and everything is perfect. I mean, this city is perfect. This doesn't look like a city with some unorganized gold-rushing miners that just came in here. No, I mean, this thing has been planned to the T. And now let's move in here. Let's move into this part that I was telling you is supposed to be the site of the World's Fair. And here we go. I mean, can you imagine laying out something like this? I mean, this, again, like we saw in Chicago, 600 acres. 600 acres of development for a usage that would last 1 year only to tear everything down. I mean, where are you getting this kind of funding? Not only to build buildings and lay out waterfronts, but even make, piers. And here they've called this the Fort Mason. I mean, absolutely amazing and completely ridiculous. But yeah, look at this city. I mean, look at this city, in 50 years, they made all these ports, and I mean, just really amazing. There's more than, there's enough to discuss here for, years. But I just wanted to show you this real quick, how amazing the layout is of this city. I mean, this is not a city that was designed on a whim. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a blessed day, and please like, comment, and
being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Time we stopped. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and a carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
something to say. It's like you don't shut up. On the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled high, ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. If being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the guards to the gate. So when they say they fear God, now you know what they made. Shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, it gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, it gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Every day my niggas dying, they don't know the truth. How the hell you close to God, we don't know it's you. Yo, how the hell you supposed to survive, we don't know the shoot. He should've died, you let him slide, cause he look just like you. I tried to tell him all skin ain't kin. Everybody ain't your partner, everybody ain't your friend. How the hell they supposed to help when they the ones that put you in? They don't struggle how we struggle, they can't get it how we live. Can't be scared to die when we already dead. Either way, your life is stake no matter how you play it. My higher self said we should choose remain godly. My lower want these motherfucking bodies. Infiltrate they circles like a motherfucking Audi. Take them to the south and put them down like OG Bobby. They don't want equality in this club, they want these problems. Killers right beside me, slab full of chicken mockers. Shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, it gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, it gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
All right, tribe. We got 69 people on top of the morning. Bounce to the eat, wherever you are. That's part one. Let's go to part two, gang.
We'll share. I just got this random email, and I thank you for this. And it just says, in the park of the exposition, there were 3 entrance porticos. The one seen in the photo was the main one. It was the last to be demolished in 1950 to expand the Avenue Hispania in the name of progress and urban development. It seems like some was preserved, and I thought we'd just have a little look. This is the type of World's Fair in Peru. I don't think we've ever talked about the Peruvian World's Fair before. Very exciting.
Let me shout out to my brother Marcus Adamu for sending the donations, starting off our third, 8 for 8, 7 more donations at $8 or more. We're locking that third. Let's go.
Exciting. I love Peru. I love the people, the music, and the history that I thought I knew about Peru. I'm sure if this is new to me, it will be new to many of you as well. Seems like these World's Fairs just keep popping up everywhere. So I thank you for being here. God bless and welcome. See, this is one of the gates, and I think this is a good example of something untouched post-reset. And up here in Peru, they don't know what to do with it. They want to demolish it to make room for the Avenue of whatever, Hispania, I believe it was. The Avenue of Spain. Why do you need to demolish this? There's plenty of room all over here. There's plenty of room in Peru. Great population density, especially not in this time period. Look at this. The portico of the exhibition, or the door. Basically the port or the doorway in Lima, Peru. And looking very established. I mean, this is like 1870. Look at the wrought iron gate. Everything in great shape right here. What was this? The south. I'm not sure which one this was. Here it is again. Just unbelievable. And quite frankly, not seeming very Peruvian at all. But as we see everywhere, I think the people inhabiting a particular region are not the original people of these areas. Park of the Exhibition. The park was occupied by the south gate of the walls of Lima, known as the Porto de Guadalupe, in 1870. So you see, President Jose Balta, ordered the demolition of these walls. That's it, in 1870. I mean, 1870 Peru may as well be 1800. I mean, at the very least, it's like our 1870. You're gonna walk upon something like this in 1870 and say, demolish it. Come on, this is more important than whatever this man thinks in 1870. He ordered the demolition of these walls to modernize the city. That's it. In 1870, you're modernizing? I mean, you're just getting started. There's no modernizing. There should be no demolishing in this time period. You should be grateful for anything like this in your presence. Anyone who wants to demolish this in 1870 is either a fool or actively covering up history. But what's interesting is they tell us that this location would be aimed at building a park that would house the International Exhibition of 1872. 1872 Peru. Thus, alongside the park rose the Exhibition Palace. Oh, yes. And right off the get-go, it gets juicy. I mean, like right away. The construction of the building took place between 1870 and 1871. Ding! 1 year. My favorite are the 1 year buildings. Just hasty writing of history. Why just 1 year? Why not at least the same as today? But no, they do the opposite. Not even the same as what it would take today. They do the opposite. They built it in 1 year. It was designed by an Italian architect, Antonio Leonardi, in a neo-Renaissance style. So here we go. 1870, 1 year. Probably 1 million square feet like all the other ones. Worthy of being a train depot. In fact, we can see train tracks that have had grass planted in them as well.
Shout out to my brother Shock Taco for listening to the donation. I did get this, but I don't know if you sent more than one. I did get one that you just, confirmed to you that is our second donation on third from 8. 6 more donations will lock it at 30 people on Friday.
That's what it looks like to me. This was some sort of station, and this has been grassed over. Some sort of light hanging here. 1870. Clearly some kind of transportation. And here she is again. This is just an engraving, but we can see the fairgoers in Peru. Just very Peruvian. Exactly what I think of when I think of Peru. People with little umbrellas and this palace, of course. The Peruvian Palace. And today it's been turned into, guess what? A museum. Of course. All of these are turned into museums or government buildings or something. And this is a great picture. And actually, I'm really glad I used Wikipedia. I've been criticized for it, but at least we know the source. This is official history, cited. And I've said before I use it to mock or poke holes in history. But when it comes to their pictures, I'm very pleased. Yes, I think there's manipulation. The sky looks very white, but the photo does look authentic to me. And it doesn't look like new construction as usual. Some windows here appear to have just been painted. Anyway, just not new, but very, very beautiful. Sometimes we see windows bricked up. In this case, they seem to have just been painted. And this celebration was to celebrate 50 years of Peruvian independence. So 50 years before this, we have this battle in Peru And things went so well that they started throwing up buildings like this, and entryways like this, and again in 1 year. Building from 1870 to 1871. In 1872, both the palace and park were inaugurated, and the exhibition took place soon after. Inaugurated, dedicated, founded. So basically, this amount of time is enough time to just clean things up, paint it. After the expo, the palace was home to the Society of Fine Arts. 1872. During the War of the Pacific, the building was looted, so they lose control soon after. And to this day, this building still stands. After changing hands several times, now it's a museum. Which is an old 1870s building, built in 1 year. What is the population in Lima in 1870? I don't know. They say like maybe 1 million people in all of Peru. I mean, this is just Lima that we're looking at. But it tells us furthermore, between 1825 and 1885, which is this period that we're looking at, there was a transition period in statistical history. And then in 1940, an earthquake hits the city, and Lima starts a period of rapid growth, spurred by immigration from the Andes region of Peru. Population estimated at 600,000 in 1940 reaches 1.9 million by 1960 and 4.8 million by 1980. And yet most of this stuff that we're looking at appears to have been built way before this population boom. The museum is located in the Palace of the Exposition. It was inaugurated, the museum, in 1961. So you see, even they continue to use this wording. Inaugurated is like repurposed, the way they're using it. Repurposed into a museum. And here again another picture. Museum of Arts. So just like in America, ours were turned into similar things, similar stories with our World's Fairs, and then turned into museums and sometimes observatories, anything really. The park had military use. It was used as a hospital. The same story. And they have their independence, and Augusto something was ordered to build several additional buildings, such as Byzantine Hall. Here we simply see the Byzantine Pavilion. We haven't seen the hall yet. Ordered. It's just funny how they are so serious. They ordered this building to be built. Probably again in 1 year. Look at this Moorish pavilion. They actually call it the Moorish Pavilion. Look at this. 1870s Peru Moorish Pavilion. Gorgeous. And then we fast forward to 1961. Oh, and I didn't talk about the zoo and the national parks, wildlife refuge areas. This just has it all. I'm going to stay on point. In 1961, someone orders the demolition. Again, this Augusto map. Here we go. Here's the demolisher. He does not look happy. So he orders the demolition and the construction of a new civic center, currently home to the military and a museum. Oh my God, look at this thing. Sick. So here we go. Look at this. What? And I don't know why I love this type of architecture. Look at the tech here. 1, 2. And I'm a builder. I've been building for myself my whole life, and I love it. But compared to this, I suck. And everyone sucks. Everything I see everywhere is garbage. And here, this guy, Augusto, in our narrative of history, is ordering things like this to be built, sometimes torn down. The Museum of Arts in Lima, Peru. So I should have known, of course I should have known, but I didn't. This is not the Peru I thought I knew. Perhaps these structures were built using llama and alpaca, So they're telling us that was built. This is not the Peru I thought I knew. Perhaps these structures were built using llama and alpaca. So they're telling us that was built in 1961. I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't take this narrative very seriously. This is the Peruvian World's Fair, after all. Just that alone doesn't make any sense. From 1870. By the 70s, 1970, the park fell into severe decline. Oh, let's just fix that place up. It's falling into decline. Population and history of Lima begins with its foundation in 1535. Prosperity comes to an end in the 18th century due to an economic downturn. Okay, here are the streets. Population growth accelerates in the 1940s. This gave rise to a proliferation of shantytowns. Ups and downs, but in 1850, Lima increases its revenues from guano exports, which led to rapid expansion of the city. 1850. So they start selling bat shit. That's what guano is. Bat poop. And the bat poop went so well, they're having this expo 20 years later. And they're building this in 1 year. And they have some war that we talked about, the War of the Pacific, 4-year war around the late 1800s. And after the war, the city undergoes a process of urban renewal, 1890 to 1820. Now this is kind of when everything gets going, all throughout the realm. Everything else is just a backstory, in my opinion. I mean, that's when the people are coming in, really, is what I'm saying. All this stuff is already here. I mean, they're telling us they're having the urban renewal in the 1890s, but yet in the 1870s they built this. What urban renewal is my point? This is great. What else do you need? There's no renewing anything. But in fact, it is the truth. That's all they're doing, is renewing the urban area. Painting, landscaping, fixing the roads, fixing the buildings. In 1920 and 1930, several buildings of the historic center were rebuilt, including the government palace. Okay, so their government palace is so much more beautiful than our government palaces. And in their words, they're just fixing it up, just pulling their shit together and fixing it up. Renewal. In the 1920s and 30s, several of the historic buildings were rebuilt, including that government palace and the historic center. Here's the historic center. Unbelievable. Look at this. Cathedral with massive, massive doors. Look at this man sitting down here. So here we go. Here's our old Peru. Here I want to talk about melting and mushrooms. This was a photo sent to me by Larry. Screenshot he took of a documentary he was watching. And all these are like melted columns. Some of these pictures are excellent. I just did a reverse image search and I'm getting a lot of things like this, which are right on as well. I think still emphasizing the same point. Perhaps it's New Mexico, maybe Utah. And I should go outside and snap a picture, and maybe I will, but in case I don't, this is my backyard. This is where I keep my wood. Little shed I built out of old pallets. And right here, there's a stump. There's a few cut pieces of wood, big ones, logs, and I watch the snow melt off of these. Again, I hope I'll go out and take a picture. But anyway, you can see a little mushroom right here. It's forming into a mushroom. It's melting, but it's melting in a mushroom shape. The snow by the warmer part at the bottom is warmer than the top, creating a mushroom shape. So then I look at all these other mushrooming things in nature. In Utah, we have a place called Goblin Valley, full of mushrooms. But my point is, what we see with the melted snow outside is the same thing that we see with this geology. This scar has been superheated and melted in a flash. This was not some kind of river up here in the hills, no. And what remains is our proof. And this is really good. I see this all over where I live. Here, the caption tells us iron-stained sandstone in Theodore National Park. Iron-stained. Metal. Iron metal. I don't know why they stuck this junk in the picture, but... And recently I took this picture. This again is my house. You can see I haven't finished it yet. And the woodpeckers have been stealing this house wrap before I've had a chance to cover it. It must make good nesting. But anyway, look at the way this is melting. I just want to focus on observing the way that ice or snow melts and then compare it to rocks and show that it wouldn't take billions of years for this to happen. It could happen in moments or as quick as a melt. So now I'm going to take you to a place not far from my house called Fantasy Canyon. And here is what we get at Fantasy Canyon. A fascinating place to explore, and it's sad that it's located in my area because it's not appreciated. It's surrounded by oil wells. Vandals come out here and break chunks off. And they tell us this is the result of millions of years, of course. Water melting and carving the rock over millions of years. And I simply propose that this is the byproduct of the same plasmatic event that we see ripping through our realm here again. And every time I go out here, I have different ideas, but I just wanted to show the comparison to this ice. Is it not exactly what we're seeing? Let me turn it upside down, and then we can go back. But yeah, a really anomalous place, no doubt. Best time to go is at sunset, and you'll get photos that look like this. And as much as I've researched these anomalies throughout our realm, I still don't know what to make of these structures. Today, as I share this with you, I'm seeing things I haven't before. It's as if this area was hit so hard, these structures could have been much, much larger and have almost shrunk, been compressed through the heat. But perhaps they were so complex that they retain these unique features. Perhaps the most extreme example of old melted architecture. So I just want to end with this little video that I took outside the other night, and it was the phenomenon that people will call Starlink, a fishy, musky project. And this thing just popped over the horizon, and I watched it cross the sky in 2 minutes, as you can see here in this recording. 2 minutes, crossing the sky, which was at least 200 miles of sky. And I did my calculations, which I don't have right now, but that came out to like 1,000 miles an hour. And they want to say these are balloon satellite-y things, and I don't think so. That's all. This seemed like some kind of luminary phenomenon. And I think everything unusual now that will take place in the sky is going to be blamed on some weird Musk technology. I mean, how can we take anything Musk seriously at this point? And I think this is much more interesting than we're being led to believe it is. Similar to eclipses, just dismissed. Even though, as we discussed in a past video, there have been dozens of recorded eclipses where the sun and moon have both been visible in the sky. And I saw this on several videos before I saw it in person. And this was so low and moved so fast. And I just thought I'd share and get your take on it. So for today, I thank you for being here. Do have a blessed day. I love you all, and I'll see you next week.
Boost your revenue and drive growth.
Right, shot. Go ahead and get solutions.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome. APM Sum 2, Smoo 2, or Smooty, Smut. If I'm saying that correctly. Hey, thanks, Doc. I appreciate that. Good to see ya. Hey, Sydney Jane, welcome. Oh, it's more limited to, here. No, loading docks is what we'll be told. Lots of warehouses, but let's zoom back out here. I mean, obviously, it's an aerial image taken from a balloon. I mean, it's 1876. It's after the U.S. Civil War, so, you know, all the inventions were done. Yeah, blimp or a balloon. Oh, yeah, good one, Quantum Paradox. That's a great movie. Yeah, Doc, were you watching Shogun? You know what, Rebecca? It could well be. It could well be some sort of drone or some sort of aerial device, or maybe it's just a completely fabricated image that we just don't know. Blimp or balloon of some kind. Let's go back in on that massive structure here. What exactly do we think this is right here? Well, of course, Celeste, what would you do without the vanilla sky? You know, you might actually have some questions answered. Oh yeah, that was an intriguing movie, wasn't it? Old World Hamster Wheel Cranes. The aeronauts, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'm not sure, Sydney Jane. I mean, I honestly don't know what that building is. That's why I'm throwing it out there and letting you all take a look. Yeah, Yankee Stadium. Yeah, well, guess what? Disobey Every Day. They're remaking Shogun, too. I was lamenting about it when we did the exploration in Japan. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that's probably what we'll be told, Sky Sage. No doubt about it. Could be. Well, and you know, Old World Hamster Wheel Crane, that's just what we don't know. You know, what's the purpose behind it? What's it really saying? What's it showing? Oh, there you go. Gladiators. Why not? That's a good one there, Robert. And I'm sure if they had to explain it, that's what they'd say. You know, but I'll admit, I just wanted to get these images up here because sometimes I think it's more useful to actually see what we see and not look into the account. I mean, we do have some interesting structures in this image. I mean, look at this.
Right. My cat is really pissed. He's almost gone. And without the internet. But I don't think I'd make videos. I wouldn't be interested in the old ways of making and distributing videos. Certainly we'd all lose a lot if the internet was shut down today. But having spent the last, I'll have to do it tomorrow, so just to eat. Morning till sundown, eating bugs, grass, all kinds of things. I don't even know what they eat. They're just always pecking and eating. And once a day, each chicken lays an egg. They don't lay on the eggs. I don't even know if they know that they're supposed to lay on the eggs. I usually snatch them up within a day or two, and yet for me this is the most important thing that they do. What to them is probably the least important. Probably similar to having a bowel movement to them. Not quite like giving birth, even though it is a type of birth. And for me, part of my sustenance, along with my pets. And really all they need to do is eat mindlessly. And they serve me very well. And I serve them. I give them shelter, water, and food. And I think it's similar to us and our controllers. A lot of people think they want to wipe us out, but I don't think so. I don't think that would benefit them. I think just like the chickens, we serve them just by doing what we do. And what we do is authored by them. They write the script. They write the history, which justifies the present program. And as long as people run this program, there's no need to wipe out the population. But if the chickens were to stop laying eggs, or hiding their eggs, the controller may consider another breed. And are we just another breed? It seems like there have been so many versions of man when we look at history and lore of past. Certainly the giants, but also tiny creatures, tiny humanoids. And when we go way back in the beginning of the Bible, we have a story of a people that are enslaved by the Egyptians, seemingly a less superior race, just the slaves. And is this history? Does or do the religious text or texts count as history? Is this the beginning of our history? Now, if we are using the Bible, this is the beginning. Of course, as far as civilization is concerned. I'm not talking about Adam and Eve. Of course, in Genesis, they briefly talk about giants. Briefly. And then we find ourselves in Egypt. The characters, or people, are slaves to an oppressive bunch of rulers or controllers. God chooses a leader and instructs him on how to free himself and his people. And it works. And these people are wiped out, the oppressive controllers. And we see these controllers. We see these statues of the pharaohs, different figures, and they don't resemble the people that are there today. Many times having elongated heads or skulls, and just a different breed. And I'm sure the conditions in this terrarium change from reset to reset. And I'm not just talking about smaller localized resets, but the big ones. The red to blue sky, the flipping of the plasma charge. And I believe this big reset eventually breaks the ice off the dome. It comes crashing down all over the realm. Massive, massive vibrations of frequency and releasing of pressure that would sound like the trumpets referred to in the Bible. And then we have the red sky. All the waters have settled. The dome is ice-free, and you have a vaporous environment. And we've looked at old Gallica images and old texts showing giant vegetation, giant fruits. And this would also be conducive to all creatures growing in larger ways than experienced, growing in conducive to all creatures growing in larger ways than experienced in this harsh environment or cycle that we're living in. The oxygen would be much richer, and again, this vaporous environment would act like a greenhouse, and there would be no season in larger ways than, and this would also be do
y'all see the size of this motherfucking bell game? Let's flip this again. The size of this bell. Like, what the fuck is ringing that? You notice I didn't say who the fuck. I said, what the fuck is ringing that? What type of gargantuan entity nigga, like,
conducive to all creatures growing in larger ways than experienced in this harsh environment or cycle that we're living in. The oxygen would be much richer, and again, this vaporous environment would act like a greenhouse, and there would be no seasons, and things would grow to enormous sizes. And it's my belief that the favorable cycle is a longer one than the latter, perhaps up to 1,000 years, allowing a civilization to thrive as we see evidence of. A civilization could accomplish a lot in 1,000 years, but in this cycle, everything is cheap and disposable, and perhaps it's because they know, the controllers know, most quality infrastructure is built underground. Maybe I'll look at my notes. I was thinking that parapets might have been used for docking airships. Just an idea. Most often the parapet is up high, and always a feature, even on the spires, little parapet sections that the end of an airship could rest in as a docking point. A lot of these towers that seem pointless, like the towers of Bologna that I talk about so much, just have staircases in them. If we look at the inside of these towers, they're just stairs, leading to the idea that perhaps these random towers found everywhere, now called monuments or whatever, could be docks, airship docks, with flights of stairs leading down. Still seeming kind of primitive, I don't know. Maybe they had elevators, or something else, some kind of pneumatic system. I really want to talk about the West and just make a video on the West. A lot of people ask me, why don't I talk about Europe? And I do and have, but I think it's not as good of a case. Now, I think it's the same. I think the story is the same in Europe as it is in the Americas. But because the Americas, particularly North America, is so new compared to the rest of the world, we are told. And considering that the West is the newest in North America, I think it's the best case to make. When we see this exact style being built in the 1850s in towns in the West, that seem to have been built by the same hand as the stuff in Europe, or even the oldest stuff in the East, and really, as we've come to find everywhere in the realm, then we have something. We have a good case. We have a case that the stuff in Europe is not as old as they may be telling us, and also the stuff in the West is older than they are telling us. I briefly mentioned in my last video something about boron, or borax, being used as a power source. 1 tablespoon of boron and hydrogen will power a home for a year. And where does this come from? This comes from the work of David LaPointe. And David LaPointe has made this power source. And it's very interesting because in our community, this research of David LaPointe has led to our understanding of how our realm works and how the resets work, the shape of our realm, how plasma plays a role in it. And I've wanted to talk about this forever. I find it so ironic because this guy doesn't even either know or believe in this theory that has been produced based on his work. Here it says Hubble Space Telescope, and he's a space believer. He thinks we're flying through space. And yet, he is responsible for this theory on what our realm may actually be. And I don't think he's given enough credit. But like I said, he's not even subscribing to this theory that has been based on his work, or actually just a byproduct of his work. I don't think he cares. I think this is just a byproduct, and it taught us something. Originally, from my understanding, this was realized by the Brian Austin Lambert channel. At least that's where I saw this. And I think his videos are still up on his channel. And I think he does a pretty good breakdown of all of this and makes some kind of sense. I've been wanting to talk about him for a while. I don't know if the rumors I've heard are true, but I think it makes me think about how we are our own worst enemies. He had good information, but he was presenting it in what I felt was a poor way, shaming and mocking the viewers, it felt like. And then even worse, giving you 90% of the story and charging for the last bit. What he stressed were the important parts. What he said means. Here the was what means work. And see, machine said is not or not a replica of it. I also believe the work of Walter Russell and his motor is based on the dynamics of this realm. A lot of great work with the FPV Angel group on Walter Russell's work. And like I said, the creator of this machine says with 1 tablespoon of borax, one could power their home for a year. Video agrees. Here we can just look at a few screenshots that I took, giving us an idea of the magnetic flow. And my concerns are that nobody's bridging the gap between this man's work and our work in this community. And perhaps somebody is, and I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Welcome. And everything in the has the same focus on the first World's Fair in the United States, which was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Has the same characteristics as all the other World's Fairs. It was held for 6 months, this one having about 200 buildings, no shortage, and the year is 1876. This is the Centennial Expo, marking 100 years of good old America. What better way to celebrate 100 fresh American years? So they had a fair. And starting off, I want to be fair and neutral and approach this with an innocent spirit, somewhat naive, and see if any of this might make sense. As I've said in the past, I love to be wrong. Wouldn't it be nice to be wrong? And everything was actually just fine and dandy. So let's see what they have to say. In 1876, the first official World's Fair was to be held in the United States. In 1876, officially named the International Exhibition of Arts, Manufactures, it was held in Fairmount Park, a large park, the largest in Philly. 2 sections totaling 2,000 acres? That can't be right. maybe just 2. And it's along a river, just like many of the buildings of the old world, seeming to function in cahoots with the river and waterways. And it was said to be held on the fairgrounds designed by Herman Schwartzman. Nearly 10 million visitors attended the expo, and 37 countries participated in it. Mind you, this is 1876, and 37 countries and 10 million world participants, we are told, would partake in this fair, traveling by boat and horse and wagon. So this is very interesting. Even before this 1876 fair, we're told there was a fair called the Great Sanitary Fair. This sounds very enticing. How appealing. Honey, let's go to the sanitary fair. Okay. This fair, we're told, was the model for this great Centennial World's Fair that was held about 12 years later. We're told the sanitary fair was actually to raise money for medicine and bandages during the American Civil War. There we go. It raised $1 million for bandages. I mean, what were they doing? We're told they were sawing people's legs off in the Civil War. Why did they need $1 million? How exotic could these bandages have been? And what a strange thing. Who has ever heard of some crazy sanitary fair that was held in 1864? Here we go. Are you kidding me? We needed to build all this so that we could buy bandages? We needed to spend $20 million to raise $1 million? Unbelievable. Will you just look at this city in 1864? 1864. What have the people been doing in America for the last 100 years? From my perspective, nothing needed to be done. How many of these towers and spires are still standing? And what of this? Once again, you need to tell me you need to have a fair to raise money for bandages, and you have a building like this? Again, this building alone is a $20 million building, requiring at least 20 years to construct. But no, we needed to build all this to raise $1 million so that we could saw people's legs off and bandage them. Look at this. Look at these people. What war? Who is fighting a war? Look at this place. We're told the President of the United States in this time period was born in a log cabin the size of an outhouse. And yet this is our city, looking like any ancient city in Europe? And this isn't even the fair. We're off topic. This is the precursor to the World's Fair that we're about to look at, 10 years later, in which they would build 200 buildings. First of all, this is fine. This is fine for a World's Fair, this sanitary fair. This is fine for a fair today. Actually nicer. But I digress. The idea for this first World's Fair in America is given credit to a John Campbell, a professor of mathematics, natural philosophy, astronomy, graduating from this Wabash College in Indiana. The idea, okay, right off the get-go, this crazy idea just coming from this guy. He suggested to the mayor at the time that there should be a United States centennial to celebrate the first 100 years. Naysayers argued that the project would not be able to find funding. It seems like they did all right with their sanitary fair. I don't know what the skepticism is. Other nations might not attend, they continued, and domestic exhibits would compare poorly to foreign ones. And pretty soon they found some supporters, the Philly Council, the Franklin Institute, and then they asked Congress for support, and the bill passed. Congress creates a board of finance to help raise money. They appoint John Welsh, this guy, a merchant and minister to England, And he had raised money for the Great Sanitary Fair in 1864. So he was the perfect candidate. Congress had to seek this man out, a true expert. And they set up stocks. I mean, this is just crazy, involving Congress and setting up boards. 10 million in stock, $10 a share. The board sold almost $2 million worth, equal to 38 million today worth of shares by 1873. Okay, so we have 3 years to go. They just made a couple $1,000,000. Philly contributed 1.5 million, and Pennsylvania gave 1 million. And then Congress appropriated another 1.5 million. So everyone's just throwing down now. All skepticism and frugality thrown out the window in this early time period. Just having money right around the time of the Civil War to appropriate millions on a World's Fair that they're not even sure if anyone will show up to. And I beg to ask, even as wonderful as any fair that they create would be, where would you house the people? Without lodging, this fair is worthless. If you're traveling across the world, this isn't just a weekend trip. Let's say you traveled from anywhere in the world, managed to arrive at this fair. You're into this trip at least 2 weeks. And I would say that's generous. I think with boat travel and horse and wagon travel, you're into this trip a month just to attend the fair for 3 or 4 days. You have to get lodging and feed for your horses, and it looks like they had no problem raising a bunch of money. Then the Fairmount Park Commission set aside 450 acres for the expo. Unbelievable. I mean, 450 acres is absolutely insane. They would not have needed more than 20 acres to have a killer fair. But 450 acres? What? It's not like these fairgoers are cattle and they need to graze. Again, we're talking about horse and wagon. You want to keep everything nice and compact. Who wants to walk around 450 acres? And here we go. To accommodate out-of-town visitors, temporary hotels were constructed. Temporary hotels? And the Pennsylvania Railroad ran special trains into the fair. Again, 1873. Railroad jumps on board. This is temporary, and they're going to lay tracks, permanent railroad tracks, to the temporary fair. Yes. And a small hospital was built on the grounds. Philly passed an ordinance that authorized the mayor to appoint 500 men as guards for the expo. Now that's kind of weird. It'd be like going to Disneyland and having 500 guards all around it. Among soldiers, local men were hired. Guards were required to live on site and were housed at 6 police stations strategically located throughout the expo. Why so many police stations and so many guards? Now again, you probably know what I want to say from my past videos and how I really feel about all this. But again, I'm approaching this innocently and naively. Structures. More than 200 buildings were constructed within the expo grounds, which were surrounded by a fence nearly 3 miles long. There were 5 main buildings in the expo. The main exhibition building, memorial hall, machinery hall, agricultural hall, and horticultural hall. Apart from these buildings, there were separate buildings for state, federal, foreign, corporate, and public comfort buildings. The Centennial Commission sponsored a design competition. Again, the same narrative as usual. First round had to have details of construction, cost, and time prepared for the runoff on September of 1873. 10 designs were submitted, and the winners were chosen. It was determined that none of them allowed enough time for construction and limited finances. The architecture of the exhibition mainly consisted of 2 types of buildings: traditional masonry monuments and buildings with a structural framework of iron and steel. So, not being told about the whole temporary thing. really pushing these builders, having such a short deadline to build their 200 buildings. They only have 3 years to build these 200 buildings, and it consisted in the end of masonry, iron, and steel. The main exhibition building, designed by engineer Joseph Wilson and architect Henry Petit, a temporary structure, we're told. The main building was the largest building in the world, enclosing 21 acres. 21 acres. I was just saying 20 acres would be perfectly adequate to hold a fair. And here we're told they built this temporary building that is 21 acres large. How can I explain 21 acres? I think maybe a football stadium, a large one. And let's just look at it. Okay, here we go. 21-acre building here. 21 acres. And you can see this is the short side. This is the absolutely short side of this long rectangle. Here we go. Just let's zoom in a little. Look at that. Almost continues for what seems like a mile. This flag here and arch seems to be the halfway point, and this, we are told, is temporary. And this is only one of 200 buildings. Why would you even build one more? How could you even build this one in 3 years, let alone 199 more? You have to landscape, lay railroad tracks, grade the roads. And what would I think now if I was truly innocent and naive? Could I just keep reading? Could I just dismiss this while looking at these primitive people? Could I accept any more? And mind you, this was not even the world's largest fair. This one is actually pretty small, and the building's less grand than other world's fairs, but this is 1876. Again, our president is born somewhere around here in a log cabin, and somehow this is thrown up in a few years for a temporary fair. And here's a look at the interior, and this is an actual photograph, a very early photograph, 1876, in this temporary 20-acre building. And there's nothing temporary about this. This is steel. These are load-bearing columns, and it actually looks like it has a concrete floor. Can you imagine flooring 20 interior acres with anything? So again, we see here a temporary structure, but then we're told it was constructed using prefabricated parts, wood and iron frame resting on a substructure of 672 stone piers. Wrought iron roof trusses were supported by the columns of the superstructure. So again, let's go back to the interior. We are told these are stone columns. They just told us stone columns and iron roof. So somebody please tell me what is temporary about stone columns and an iron structure. 672 stone piers. The building took a mere 18 months to complete and cost $1.5 million. Unbelievable. Just chocked full of inconsistencies. Temporary, yet stone and iron. Do we go on? Here they tell us the flooring of the building was made of wooden planks that rested directly on the ground. 20 acres of wooden planks. 20 acres of flooring. And this looks
All right, Tribey, I gotta get out of here a little early today. Shout out to all the American Aborigines. I appreciate everybody coming through as always. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Make sure y'all bang that like button. Share the video out before you get up out of here. If you enjoyed today's stream, consider supporting the channel. I will see y'all tomorrow, gangy. I hope y'all have a great rest of the day. I'll see y'all later, gang. Until next time. Peace.